every time on the internet that I see the discussion between the Catholics, Protestants, or the Catholics and the Protestants and the Orthodox or something like that come up,
Right.
is Sola Scriptura. You know, this is like, I could say, probably the most widely known disparagement, and it's probably seen as the cause of the entire mess. Because when we say something like scripture alone, right,
Mm-hmm.
we have to understand alone as opposed to what? What is
Mm-hmm.
the other options that are there? And
Mm-hmm.
what do we mean by alone? Why
Mm-hmm.
did the reformers come up with this crazy idea that scripture alone, like,
Okay.
why would they come up with this at the 15th century, right?
Okay.
Um, and so, like, what is the other options? Well, the Catholic perspective is
Yeah.
church alone.
Right.
Okay, so like, let's say we were to summarize
Yeah, that
that
makes to
you
me.
really have the magisterium, okay, as an infallible authority on the Catholic side.
Right.
The Orthodox, right, hold what they consider like tradition, which is they hold all the way up to the 7 ecumenical councils.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very controversial thing, what you would even call an ecumenical council, by the way. Well, if you study, but and then the Protestants have sola scriptura. What the Protestants mean, what the Reformers mean by
Okay.
sola scriptura, is that when it comes to infallibility,
Mm-hmm.
meaning something that cannot be infallible, all of us agree that Scripture is infallible, meaning there's no errors in Scripture, there's no God did not make a mistake in Scripture. Scripture is perfect, unified, and
Right.
kept. We all agree with that,
Yeah,
right?
we
You
all
agree
agree
with
with
that. I
that.
agree
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We all hold Scripture at the high level.
Yep.
And then, what are my other options? Okay, I could look at all of the church councils. Are these infallible?
Mm.
Well, this is something that if you haven't done your homework on, then you have to do your homework on. Okay,
Right. Okay.
because you have to see. Well, there are councils that in throughout history contradicted one another. There are councils that did all kinds of things with one another. Okay, and
Okay.
what we call an ecumenical council. By the way, the Bishop of Rome wasn't even invited to all the councils. He
Okay.
wasn't there in all the councils. He wasn't invited to all the ecumenical. Like, there's all kinds of issues that happen with this
Mm.
historical view.
Okay.
And so the Protestants say, okay, that is great, and we could take a lot of insight from that, but it is not infallible. The church
Mm.
fathers, there's contradictions. That is not infallible. So when the Protestants say Scripture alone, Scripture is the only thing that is infallible.